Tokyo Vice, it seems as though HBO Max is stepping their game up and making quality shows. First episode does a good job at setting the tone, atmosphere. It was directed by Michael Mann, the man responsible for films such as Heat, Collateral, and Public Enemies. The first episode does have that Michael Mann touch to it, if you know what I mean. The show is loosely based on a book by Jake Adelstein, who is an American journalist that spent most of his career in Japan. Ansel Elgort plays the role of Jake Adelstein, who's an American journalist that became the first foreigner to become part of a staff for a major newspaper in Japan during the late 90s. Ansel now, he put some work in this role. Behind closed doors, in preparation for the character, he had to spend countless hours learning how to read, write, and speak Japanese, and it shows. With that said, be aware and prepared that there are a lot of subtitles in this, as majority of the dialogue is in Japanese. So some viewers might find that things could be a bit janky with switching from like English to Japanese. Like, why can't we just stick to Japanese? But that's because this is an American produced show. Anyways, in Jake's ventures, he uncovers secrets within the crime underworld of Japan and works with a seasoned detective, Hiroto Katagiri, played by Ken Watanabe. Ken Watanabe, he's solid here. Everything I've seen this man in, he's always playing a character that I can't help but like, and that's definitely here. In my opinion though, we don't really see a whole lot of him. He has more of a presence near the end of the show, but with him being like a big name and all, I thought he was going to be in the show majority of the time, but no, we spend most of our time with three central characters instead, one of them being Jake, of course. The other two are Samantha and Sato. I found them to be more intriguing and have way much more interesting situations than Jake, who is our main character. Now, all three characters intertwine with one another, but I gotta say, Samantha and Sato pretty much steal the show. Samantha, she's this American hostess who has lots of connections within Tokyo. She has dreams of her own in which she wants to open up her own club, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Sato, on the other hand, he's Yakuza. He's a low-level enforcer for the Chihara Kai family. He's got some anger issues here, and he puts on like a tough guy act, but he's really not cut out for this kind of thing, and he finds himself getting deeper and deeper in this situation. He's actually my favorite character out of the three. He has some very subtle moments that I really liked during the last episode. One in particular is when he's speaking to another character that's somewhat a reflection of himself. It's as if he's speaking to his younger self. Like I mentioned before, the film does take place in the 90s, but for me, it just doesn't feel that way. I like the Japanese culture and the architecture shown, the production design, the lighting, the neon lights, the color, and the camera shots are all quite nice. For those of you who decide to watch this, be sure to look out for that Backstreet Boy part in the car. That little bit I thought was pretty funny. Just to be clear, this is a slow burn crime drama. So if you're used to those kind of shows, then you'll definitely like this one. Solid crime show all around. It's not as dark as I thought it was going to be. The main issue I have with the show though is just how it ends. There's unfinished storylines, so things just feel unresolved. So I'm left a bit bothersome by that. There's no confirmation for a second season, but I think with the growing attention that this show is having, we will get a second season that will be greenlit, but I don't know for sure. But what I do know for sure is that there's a lot of smoking in this show. I mean, a lot of it. I'm just saying.